Ladies and gentlemen, a guard is with us in honour of the Anzacs on Anzac Day and all those who followed them in the service of Australia.
Guard, slow! Turn! Guard, rest on arms!
The Australian Football League, the Collingwood and Essendon football clubs, and the MCC invite you to join with the coaches, the players and umpires in honouring the memory of Australia's servicemen and women who gave their lives for the nation. Our thoughts too are with those currently on active service. Would you please stand and remove your hats for the Anzac observance. We welcome today the President of the Victorian Returned and Services League, Vietnam veteran Major General David McLaughlin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Would you please join me in a tribute to our departed comrades? They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Guard, attention! Guard, last post. Present arms.
Lest we forget.
Guard, attention!
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain upstanding for the Australian National Anthem, to be performed today by musician Rachel Summers from the Royal Australian Navy Band, Melbourne.
Guard, General Salute, present, arms!
It's a ceremony that seems to get bigger and bigger each year, and the respect shown by all should make us proud. Now we are just about ready for action. Essendon and Collingwood boys, final thoughts?
Well, listening to Matthew Knights just before the game, it makes you think, Luke, they are going to play a very tall forward line. Courtney Johns will be down there, Matthew Lloyd, David Hill, Laycock at different stages, and what he said was, once we get it inside the forward 50, the big fellas just have to mark it.
And that man on screen there, Walls, he's a very proud man, Matthew Lloyd. He's one of the great full forwards in the game. He'll be ready to go today.
Well, he's got the first thing right. He's called correctly, and the Bombers kicking to the city end or right of screen. Down to Andrew Marr on the boundary line.
Thanks, Hutto. It's a privilege to be down here on a day like this. The ground is in perfect condition. The conditions were perfect, generally speaking, about 25 minutes ago, but some threatening clouds have rolled in. We're going to get some rain, I reckon, before this game's out. Howie, what about the atmosphere?
Well, for my first Anzac Day, I don't know what got me more, boys. The silence of the last post or the roar after the Australian anthem. I don't think there'd be a footballer in the country, whether it be a little leaguer, a suburban player or a country player, Murray, who wouldn't want to be out here today, boys. It is very, very exciting.
Thank you, Andrew. And Mark down at ground level. Tim, you've seen a few of these now. What's your feeling as we get ready for the bounce of the ball?
Yeah, can't help thinking about the relative youth of the Bombers, the youth of their coach. It's a new experience for them, isn't it? Collingwood, by and large, I think more seasoned and more used to it. They had a final series not too many games ago. Virtually all of them played in front of a crowd like this against Geelong. Couldn't help wondering during the observance and the national anthem what Martin Clark would make of it all, because he's a long way from home.
First surprise, Dustin Fletcher's gone forward for the Bombers. Courtney Johns has gone to the half-back line for Essendon. No one expected this.
Well, Matthew Knights has said all year that he wants to turn Courtney Johns into a defender. We all thought he'd go forward today, but he's true to his word again.
It's a great move, isn't it? Because now Shane Waitman goes on to Dustin Fletcher, and it just frees up Matthew Lloyd, who's got Nathan Brown as his opponent.
He's had some challenges, the young man, and then he's been sent back into attack in recent weeks, but he's on Matthew Lloyd today, a man who's kicked more goals than anyone else on Anzac Day. We're ready for action. 2008 from the MCG.
Shane McInerney with the honour, and he bounces the ball perfectly to set things in motion. And it goes Collingwood's way to O'Brien. The first kick of the big day, but Mal Michael, former Magpie, is underneath it, and he gives it to Johns. Gets him into the action to Winderlick. And across ground where Dyson and Welch can raffle it. And eventually it's Dyson who pokes the Bombers towards the wing. McPhee playing as a half forward this year, with an unusual partner in crime up there in Fletcher. Laycock's his only hope here, and he had two against him. Cook arrives for Collingwood, playing his first game of the year. Heath Shaw, last year's Anzac medalist, doesn't start auspiciously here, but the Magpie defence saves, and there'll be a throw-in.
So frantic start, as you would always expect. Plenty of pushing and shoving around the footy. Hill been so influential. Cook getting an early feel for it. O'Brien always strong at the clearances. Welsh thrust into the action. McPhee become a forward this year. Hill, not much science involved in that kick. Laycock's got to hit it hard. He misjudged it, but he's been given a free. Interesting interpretation.
Well, that ball went about 60 metres high and 25 metres long, and they had plenty of time to set themselves. Just the slightest nudge on Laycock, and that is as soft as butter.
Yeah. Well, he's one man who needs to perform for the Bombers, and what better stage than this one to start the afternoon for Essendon, to make a bit of statement about not just himself, but about the Bombers this afternoon at the MCG. Didn't look pretty, but the result certainly is.
Well, the first mistake of the day goes to the umpire in question here, because, as Wolsey said, that is a very, very soft free kick. Jason Laycock, he just mistimed his jump. He got a tiny bit of contact, and you just don't want to see them paid as free kicks. Nick Maxwell, he's got every right to be disappointed, and soft goal. Jason Laycock's in the game, though.
Mel Michael on a half-back flank, and Lockyer will be very happy to run him around, and that's not a good matchup for the Bombers. Riders at full-back for Essendon, playing on Travis Cloak.
And Johns is on Pendlebury, so a couple of big defenders on smaller men. And speaking of, Pendlebury wins this ground-level contest to former Anzac medal winner Johnson, and he replies in a blink of an eye for Collingwood. It's all even after less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, immediate reply from Collingwood here, and it's Pendlebury coming off half forward, and Ben Johnson finishes this one beautifully. But it's going to be a worry going forward, isn't it? How long can Mal Michael stay on Tarkin Lockyer as his opponent? Paddy Ryder out of the goal square. It's a tough matchup, and also it was Courtney Johns, who's at the moment playing on Scott Pendlebury, who got the lead-up ball on him at the moment. So can they hold those key backs there?
Well, I don't think they can, Luke. I think Matthew Knights has got worries already. There's Courtney Johns on Pendlebury. He won't be able to go with Pendlebury. He'll be too slick and quick. Already led in to take that quick ball out of the centre bounce. Got the handball across to Ben Johnson for the goal.
So some big manoeuvres in the coaching box already, and Watson trying to put his stamp on the game. Long kick. Very deep. Brown and Heathshaw collaborating well and getting them out of the immediate danger. Lovett and Davis. Let's hope we see those two in full flight this afternoon.
Superb ruck that work there by David Hill. It was just fantastic stuff.
We're going to watch that closely this afternoon as well.
Have a look at this, Hutto.
Yep, perfect stuff down to Watson. And now the Magpies are away through O'Brien. He is their #1 clearance man. The height on the Bombers side that time. They didn't synchronise their efforts too well, though. Johnson for Pendlebury, and now they're running. Davis. Kick was mown down by Hill. Lovett running the wrong way. Slattery, an old-fashioned type defender. Mel Michael. And now the man wearing James Hurd's jumper. Brent Stanton turned it over. Momentum with the Pies all of a sudden. Cloak on his own. Loose man over the top. Just had to get it to him. Lockyer gives the Pies the lead.
That goal is a result of Essendon taking the ball forward with a series of handballs, overdoing it, and then Collingwood able to force the error. We'll see it coming up here. Slattery gets it. Handball. Continue to run. Could have got rid of it. Dangerous handball there, and they just turn it over, the Bombers, and Collingwood take advantage.
Three goals in the first 5 minutes. The Magpies have 2 of them.
Slattery with the tagging job on the dangerous Didac.
How long can they afford to leave those matchups down there, Wolsey?
Well, I guess they'll let it run for they've spent all week thinking it through, so they'll give it 10 minutes at least.
Bomber free kick.
Centre clearance is just so vital at the moment. Both forward lines are stacked with tall players.
Both ruckmen having some victories. Watson along. Oh, Wakeland went, but he went early, and Lloyd just waited. And if his hands hadn't been there, it would have hit him between the eyes.
A lot of talk during the week about Matthew Lloyd. Is he ever going to get back to his best? He's such a good player, and he got beaten badly last week. He'll come out today and give a great account of himself, and what a good start this is. Judged it beautifully. Strong hands.
Yes, and young Brown will learn a lesson there. Don't rely on your fellow defender to help out. He thought Wakeland could help him there. Brown had to continue on with the run and spoil.
His form patchy so far this season. Did he clip the inside? No, he didn't. It's a goal. Two goals each. Was it an optical illusion, or did that clip the inside of the post?
God, it looked like it though, Tim. If it didn't, we'll have a look at a replay in a second, and it just looked like the ball deviated at the last minute. And the body language from Matthew Lloyd was like, did I con him here, or did I get away with one? Hopefully we'll be able to see it.
So, did this hit the post?
Hard to tell from that angle.
Didn't look like it did from that angle.
This is the one that looked like it, I reckon. Front on.
Not as much from there either. Maybe we were fooled. Out of the middle. 2 goals all. Davis, who's been handy at getting some clearances as well. The big arc from Cloak. Adjusted the kick at the last moment. Gave Slattery a look in. Probably should have honed in on the goals. And Slattery in the last line. Long lead from Hill. The kick didn't match the vision. And Marty Clark, one of 7 Magpies on the Anzac Day stage for the first time. Here's another one, Paul Medhurst. And hasn't he been a prominent, busy forward for the Pies so far this year?
His recent form has been excellent, Hutto. He's kicked 11 goals, 8 behinds for the season, but he's the #1 player for contested marks in this Collingwood team. And that's a really good effort because he's only a medium-sized player. He's not tall at all.
Averaging 2.2 goals a game this year. Back to his best form from Freo in his early days. And he's got the angles right there. And the Pies turn in this topsy-turvy start here on Anzac Day. Capacity crowd. And as is the trend at the moment in AFL footy, there's a lot of goals being kicked.
I think that might continue, Hutto, with some high scoring. Again, it was a bit of a turnover in the midfield. Both these forward lines look really potent. I love the move of Fletcher forward. It was a really poor kick from Henry Slattery. He had an option that was out, and we've had 5 goals, Wolsey, in the first 8 minutes of the game. Fantastic footy to watch. Whoever wins the clearances is going to keep scoring.
It'll be interesting to see how Collingwood's front half goes across the day without Rocker.
There's a bit of niggle down there in that Collingwood back line. Brown into Lloyd and Harry O'Brien at centre half back on McPhee.
The bouncing's been perfect after the controversy of last Saturday night.
Against pressure, Hooley.
Ben Johnson to take the free.
Play on your round.
And that's a probing ball for Medhurst again. Perfectly placed kick. Just where Medhurst wanted it. Winderlich just couldn't impart himself on the contest.
Well, the worry is Winderlich. Have a look at him. He's a pretty skinny runner. He's more of a midfield runner, Winderlich. And I just think that Medhurst will be too good for him in the air, and that might be something that Collingwood do, Luke, without Rocker playing, is just give Medhurst a lot of space and direct a lot of long ball to him.
He's in great form.
Well, they've got a lot of dangerous smaller forwards. Medhurst for his second. Starts them left. They normally fade right. Whatever it did, it went right through the middle. Collingwood's 4th.
Just got himself under the footy here, Jason Winderlich. His body position wasn't where you'd want it to be for a defender. And that man on screen, he's been maligned in the past from Fremantle. He's performing every part of the game very well. His chasing and tackling's been very good. He's in great touch at the moment.
So Collingwood 4 goals to 2. Let's just go back to this Lloyd shot. This is the original angle we all looked at. and we thought it may have just clipped the post on the way through.
Was there a deflection, Richie?
I'm not sure about that. Not sure what the snickometer will show there, Tim, but alas, it's a goal. And the margin is 2, and the Bombers need some more, and they need them quickly. And they're hunting through the middle. Hill delivering for Stanton, and Fletcher gets a chance to be a forward. And let's see how nimble he is. He's pretty nimble. Monfries, little opening. Lloyd again. Oh,
Brown
was that touched? Yes.
Brown just got a touch on it. Very good effort by the Collingwood defender. Just got a deflection to take it out of Lloyd's grip. Here it is. Well done.
Just enough. So the margin 11 points Collingwood's way, and the Magpies work it without incident to Sherrod Wellingham playing his first game. And what a stage on which to step out for the first time. Bombers applying pressure. Wellingham following up his own kick. Swan. David Hill with some strength. To McPhee and now to Nash. And away go the Bombers into an open 50. Lloyd looking for a kind bounce. Seemed to get it but couldn't snare the ball. Maxwell O'Brien shaking off Fletcher. Heath Shaw. Swan. Now Reece Shaw. As Swan keeps coming. And prods it forward, and there's a relayed free kick by the sounds of it, or there was a free in the contest. The ball will come back to Cloak. The one big man in Collingwood's forward structure today. It's working well so far. He went for everything he had and he dragged it way right. Essendon free kick.
Be a good contest between Travis Cloak and Paddy Ryder. Two terrific players. There's young Cook, Collingwood player playing just his 4th game. He's got the tagging job on Brent Stanton.
Play on now, play on!
So Slattery sends it to the outer side. Did he go on a different angle on it as he brought it in? I think that's what's happened, so it's going to be a throw-in.
No. Play on to hurry it up, then play on. I think he's coming straight line.
He didn't change direction.
Yeah, no, I thought he was in straight line. Reset it, right?
So a couple of umpiring errors. That one at least corrected. Everyone a little nervous and anxious on this big occasion. The advantage taken gleefully by Stanton, heading for Fletcher. Can they afford to keep him in the forward line? That's the question. With Medhurst looking so dangerous, he would be a perfect matchup.
Great run
This
from
man
him.
pushing forward is David Hill. His disposal not always the best, but he got it to Ramanauskas, a little flat-footed, and it opens up for Welsh. Well worked by the Bombers. Is he within range? He doesn't think so, or he spotted a better option. How on earth did Matthew Lloyd get loose in the goal square?
He did, Hutto, through hard work. I've watched him closely. His double leading back towards goal is causing Nathan Brown heaps of trouble. We know as a straight line leader he's kicked a lot of goals, but he's turning him inside out. He's got a great fitness capacity, Matthew Lloyd. He's working really hard. Started so well.
This will be so good for his confidence. Last week he went goalless. Rarely happens. Max Hodgson of St Kilda did the job on him.
14th season, Matthew Lloyd. People start talking about his form deteriorating a bit. He's been in the game a long time, and his career has really spanned the era of this great Anzac Day history. Played in the second clash way back in 1996, and he threads that one through for his second. Good running again from Hill, and setting up Welsh, who was very much aware.
And already Mick Malthouse has made a change as Wakeland relieves Nathan Brown on Lloyd.
Keeping an eye on the David Hill heart rate there too with our GPS monitors. 3 Bombers hooked up.
Essendon within 5 points. Not quite goal for goal, but plenty of goals kicked. It's a Collingwood takeaway here. And now Johns with his hands full with Ben Johnson, who easily beats him off there. The kick not so good. Medhurst overrunning it. Michael with brute strength. To Hooley. Now Stanton. Nice collect. Running inside. Monfries. But Goldsack saw it coming. Cook. Oh, he threw that surely. Not ruled that way. He's lucky. Clark, O'Brien.
Well done, Lloyd.
Essendon applying pressure. Wellingham, Johnson.
Right there, Courtney,
And Collingwood can reload.
That handball getting the Bombers into trouble again, though, Wolsey, across half-back.
Yes, they just go one extra too often, but they're a young developing team playing a new game plan, so it'll take time.
Rider for Ramanauskas already. Now has played more games than he has in a season since 2004. Had to kick very cleanly for Laycock. Fraser arriving late. Well worked. McPhee providing attack. Courtney Johns, in fact, on the overlap. Up on the wing. Lloyd is circling up around the 50, leaving Fletcher back in the goal square. As they creep along the lines, Monfrey, another avenue towards goal. And again, needed clean skills. McPhee needs some help. Lloyd might just try and get it quickly back to Monfrey, and they can reset through Ramanauskas. Goes long this time. Heathshaw as brave as ever. And he gets a second crack at it, makes a meal of it this time. Love it. Nash with the spoils. Was some indecisive play, but got the result in the end. In betwixt and between there, Nash. He's made a few clingers this year, but that one didn't cost him.
Well, he was lucky in the end because his mate was sitting there in the goal square, but I love Dustin Fletcher up forward. He just manages to get a hand in and make it contest when other players probably wouldn't. There he is on screen. He set up that little bit of play for Lovett. Just made an extra contest. Ball spills out. Another goal to Essendon.
And it was Heathshaw's mistake. That hand pass was sloppy. It was stolen easily by Lovett. It was virtually straight to him. And Jay Nash kicking the accidental goal.
Well, they'll get goals because they take risks. They've had 26 kicks, the Bombers, and 22 handballs. Some of those handballs haven't hit the target, but they're up and about the Bombers.
Laycock getting it to Hooley, to Watson. Oh, he was asleep though, and Martin Clark got him. Wins the free kick, and advantage is called. Pendlebury steering it very well for Fraser as long as it sits. He has the call inside from Johnson, who's been very good in this opening term. He could just about go all the way here. Time to balance, but he took too long. It was deflected off the boot. Lovett Murray, Michael, strong in the tackle. Was after a teammate, and umpire Vozzo gives a good decision, waving to the boundary umpire to throw it in.
Hold the block.
Magpies ready to circle here. Fraser took it out of the ruck. Gee, that's an interesting call. Umpire said he wasn't tackled. Darson, Pendlebury all involved. Michael over the top, Laycock. Lovett Murray quick with the hands, maybe a little too quick. The pressure is on. Medhurst finds his way through it. Back for Harry O'Brien in unfamiliar territory. Now Clark can wind up. It's going to come back. Slung afterwards.
Almost a professional free kick, that from Adam Ramanauskas. He summed up the situation.
Terrific this from Medhurst. Two of them at him in the tackle, and a third one, McPhee, coming front on. That's the heat.
Actually, good free kick to give away that one because he knew Marty Clark was out and going to have an easy run and shot a goal.
How many goals has Harry kicked, Hutto? Do we know that?
He's just kicked one goal. And he's not going to add to that here, but he is going to potentially add to the team's tally because Leon Davis has taken the mark.
And Leon put a terrific tackle on just seconds ago. There we see the pressure put on Medhurst. And Leon Davis is one of many Indigenous players in AFL who was super quick and effective with their tackling in the forward 50.
It's his 5th Anzac Day, and he's only kicked one goal in 5 matches, and that one's out on the full.
So the Magpies still trail by a point. And Matthew Knights would have to be reasonably happy. Essendon weathering a minor early storm from Collingwood. Winderlich having it. Pete Johnson's running hard. The offload to Michael. Pumping hand pass to Reimers. And he searches for Fletcher, and he's got him at the third bite. Now, does the fullback playing up forward have a go from there? Well, he's kicked 4 goals in the last 2 seasons.
He knows how to kick a goal, Tim. I think he's entitled to have a shot from there. Just terrific transference of the football from the defensive 50 to the forward 50 with daring run, bold handball, and a lovely kick into the 50 for Fletcher to mark.
Their fans will love it. if he could kick it from there. It's not bad. Oh, that is a magnificent kick. And the Bombers lead by 7.
Nothing a defender likes more than the opportunity to play up forward, and Dustin Fletcher has nearly played close to 300 games. Very few of them has been as a forward line player. He'll be loving this opportunity, and he moves so well. Hard play to match up on, and at the moment it's working so well for Essendon.
Well, huge crowd, big occasion, and Collingwood probably kicked the ball more than any other team, just about, Walsey, and Essendon seem to be handballing a lot today. We'll look at some of the stats in relation to that in a moment. But
well, you're right, Hutto. Under Matthew Knight, Essendon is running and handballing far more than they did than under Kevin Schuette's coaching.
Pies have got a break here. Heath Shaw trying to make amends for an earlier error. And you'd back him to do that, although he turns it straight over. So again, he'll probably go back and thump the ground. Watson. Good mark from McPhee. So the Bombers with quite a few more forward options now. Courtney Johns has pushed forward inside the forward 50, boys.
Yeah, yes, and I like the way Essendon try to bring it in the corridor. They will take it out wide, then work to bring it back in with a series of handballs.
Cameron Wood is back on Courtney Johns inside the Essendon forward 50, while Jay Nash is trying to find a path out of defence. Oh, he didn't make a great choice. He settled on Lloyd, but he was surrounded by a couple of pies. One of them, the ever-reliable Shane Wakelin, who played on Lloyd late last year. Lloyd kicked 3 on him. This is Didac now with a little skip around pairs. Then sends it to Lockyer, used the bodywork on Reamers. Thomas! And now Lockyer for his second. A lot tougher contract than the first one. And the result, not the same. The margin is an even goal here.
Both forward structures look really likely of scoring at the moment. There's Tuck and Lockyer on screen. Down the other end, Essendon look equally as adept at scoring.
It's Lockyer just laying the ball. Oh, Johns might be in strike for that. That's 50 and maybe more.
Well done by Pendlebury to get up quickly.
I don't think he meant it. I think he was arriving hard, and when he realised he was going to be late, he turned his body side on, but it looks bad, and he might pay a price. Well, he's already paid one price.
I agree with you, Tim. There's no malice in it.
So, Scott Pendlebury lining up for Collingwood's 5th to tie it up. What an entertaining start this has been. A shootout. A miss. The Magpies trail by 5 points. Courtney Johns went into the umpire's book there, arriving late, giving away 50. I reckon was off the ground and just had nowhere to go.
Make your own decision. Ryder just kicked at the last possible moment, and in doing so he's put Slattery under the gun. You would almost call that a handball from Didac. Back to Johnson. Great grit and determination showed by Slattery to get it to Reamers through the middle. Tough ask here for Hill from behind Wood, who's enjoying himself in the black and white colours, averaging 10 possessions and 10 hit-outs per game, more than he was able to produce for the Lions. Now it's Reece Shaw's turn. Career best numbers for him so far this year.
Free-flowing game of footy at the moment. Both sides attacking very, very hard offensively. There's David Hill's heart rate on screen. He's been working overtime, 150 beats per minute. That's hard work.
Marty Clark from within range. Just missing. So a couple of consecutive behinds to Collingwood. They're down by 4 points.
There's Reece Shaw. He's got the tagging job on Lovett. Started on him. Matthew Knights took Lovett off. Have a look at this big huddle of Essendon players while Paddy Ryder's getting ready to kick in. Fantastic shot there. Now they're starting to break off into space.
You get a warm glow over you every time you see that huddle, Rob.
It's about 30 years old. They haven't done it well. Oh, that was terrible. Leon Davis stuck the head.
Medhurst kept it in play cleverly. Wood back to Davis. If his marking attempt wasn't good, You've got to score him high for the kick.
He made amends, Tim. He'd be disappointed. Look, Leon Davis is... there's Bruce Ruxton watching. Leon Davis, we see here, is expecting the hit to come, ducks his head, takes his eyes off the footy, lets himself down. He's not the first player in the world to have ever done that. But in football terms, you let yourself and your team down when you do it. So he's got a chance to make amends here by putting a goal through.
Pendlebury's actually set it further away from goal, but cut the angle.
He's been busy, Leon Davis, coming up for his 7th possession.
So Collingwood, a third attempt to reclaim the lead from 48. And this time they've done it. Davis gets it home. Collingwood lead.
Been a highly entertaining first quarter between these two sides. Very attacking. And it was a poor kick in, really. David Hill was working overtime. We were able to track his heart rate, and it was right up to about 185 beats at that particular stage. Kick just didn't give him an opportunity to get in the contest. And as Wolsey said, Leon Davis won't be all that happy with that particular effort, but he managed to get to the opportunity and scored the goal.
That's very interesting, the inside 50s. You can see domination there by Collingwood. Essendon's been in 8 times and scored on 6 of those occasions. 5 goals, 1 behind.
Laycock doing the ruck work that time. Watson was able to get it out to Hooley. Now Fletcher. Brown's gone on to he by the look of it. And already Heath Shaw is getting back and getting busy. But again, it opens the door for the Bombers. Courtney John stunned for a moment. In fact, it's McPhee stunned for a moment for too long. There's the ruling.
Brilliant effort again from Fletcher. His second effort to get back and tackle and chase. I think he's saying to Matthew Knights, just leave me here. Give me a chance. Look at this effort. He was out of the contest.
But have a look at the effort of Shane Wakeland. He's like an old man. He can't bend.
Bombers continue to apply pressure here. First man to the footy, Pendlebury, beating off Watson by turning onto his non-preferred side. Cook to O'Brien. Cook gets it back. Who's he after? Nobody much. Cloak had to go the spoil. Didak and Thomas both there. Well played pairs. Covered the ball with his body. Slattery to Welsh. Untidy. Reece Shaw, a nifty little nudge out on Hooley. Cook again. Poor kick, but careless. Davis. Bomber fans want holding the ball. They don't get it.
Still the trouble for Essendon Wolves is their pressure through the midfield. There's so much free running play. They can see the second most inside 50s in the competition. They will get scored against because they just allow so much ball inside their 50.
Gee, there was a number of could-be's there, wasn't there, with the free kicks. Hooley got the clearance. Ranauskas is trying to drag Heath Shaw out of the action. He's not succeeding at the moment.
Well, Essendon have had a couple of players trying to get Heath Shaw out of the action. Reema's started, and now Rama's got the job.
Cook in the centre circles. You can see Fraser trying to provide an option. And somewhere, he went somewhere in between the two options. And that somewhere was exactly where Jason Laycock was lurking. His kick not great either. Courtney Johns again in the cut and thrust of it. Monfries over the top, got back on his feet very well, and now a chance for Johns to hit Fletcher.
Did it well. He did it so well, Courtney Johns. He didn't panic. He just put the short pass out in front of the leading Fletcher. And Fletcher loving this opportunity to play on the forward line.
Well, Kevin Sheedy promised for years, didn't he, that he'd get him out of full back. He was talking about the wing and the ruck, and in the end, he was pretty much tied to the last line of defence for a very long time, Dustin Fletcher.
Well, along came Mel Michael last year, Hutto, and Paddy Ryder. I've got no doubt Matthew Knights is going to settle Paddy Ryder in the back line this year. So it means the big fella can get some freedom up forward.
The last remaining player from the 95 game. He was on Sav Rocker that day, who showed him how to kick a bag of goals, but unfortunately Dustin can't do the same there. And the margin is 1 with Collingwood 5-3. And Essendon 5-2.
Lovely pass from Johns to set up Fletcher. It should have been kicked. The most relieved man out there will be Nathan Brown, who's had 3 goals kicked on him in the first quarter, and that could have been a 4th. 2 by Lloyd, 1 by Fletcher. Dale Thomas. Such great acceleration, but Pears, his opponent, did very well.
They set that up well, Collingwood. They had all the players come to one side as Heath Shaw was getting ready to kick in, and this little fella came from the forward line to run into that space.
Thomas just one possession so far.
Collingwood having to work its taller defenders around. A steal by the Bombers. Collingwood get it back. Wellingham off to Pendlebury, but straight to Michael. Cloak not having any impact early. Welsh, ragged kick into the 50. First man back, Brown. Road a front on. Wakeland pushed in the back by Fletcher. Collingwood's ball, whatever. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The umpire says it may as well stay with O'Brien. Mark Howard, you've got something for us.
The lights are blaring down here now, guys. It's got a couple of degrees cooler in the last few minutes, and they are talking rain about an hour away. So halfway through the second half, boys, could get a bit slippery.
Again, the Heath Shaw disposal not quite hitting the target. Clark, though, makes it good and finds Pendlebury on the wing. Didak's inside the 50, but here comes the dangerous Medhurst. Too far out to score, went for Didak. Slattery has him covered and has good support crew, led by Nash initially and now Welsh, who had time to steady and sum up the situation. Remus wasn't really able to do the same. It doesn't matter. A highly entertaining opening quarter, and the Pies lead by 1.
Yeah, fantastic first quarter, Hutto. The big surprise has been Dustin Fletcher up forward. He's competed so well. He's desperate to stay there, that man on screen. Got his side just a point but down at quarter time. High scoring, free flowing. At times through the midfield, you just feel whoever gets it inside 50 will score. Got a great game on our hands coming up.
Absolutely no problems at the Pies, Murray. They are up and about, and that discussion about the weather about being an hour away, I don't know how accurate that was. I'd say it's just started to spit in the last 5 minutes, so we might get wet this quarter, boys.
All right, always good to see the boundary riders get a little bit wet and earn their pay down there. These boys certainly are.
Cam Wood being moved to full forward for the Magpies. Travis Cloak starting this quarter on the bench.
Lots of fascinating tactics to watch as this game unfolds. Leon Davis's role in this Magpie lineup continues to grow. Winderlich wins a battle there, one out with Medhurst, which will give him some confidence.
Well, it's another centre clearance by the Magpies. They're number 1 in the competition at doing that. The only player who's cleared it for Essendon thus far is Jobe Watson.
Well, Hill's not going to win too many taps on his knees. Fraser for Swan. Wood against Ryder, who almost always is willing to have a go at it and take the mark, isn't it? It's fantastic when he takes them. He's a terrific young athletic player. And got a huge future. Winderlich provides the run as well, as does this man Lovett. They've been forced to go pretty wide. Stanton's made the break at half forward. Shaw got back and made some contact. Legally, said the umpire, so Maxwell, really ordinary kick as it turned out of defence. Made it tough for Cook. Lovett and Welsh. Standing start this though for the Bombers through the middle, trying to create some momentum was Michael first and now Ramanauskas and Fletcher.
Just behind play, Hutto. Looks as though Alan Didak's down. He's in the hands of the trainers and spent a lot of time on the ground. Looked very sore.
Well, we know he was injured last week, wasn't he? And there was some doubt about him coming in today. Anthony Rocker, a late withdrawal.
He's going up to remonstrate with someone Didak too, so not happy with Henry Slattery.
Or Nathan Lovett-Murray, perhaps. Just by the look at his eye. Here's Dustin Fletcher. We know the distance was never going to be an issue.
He's missed his last 2 set shots, Fletcher, and for the confidence of the teammates and the drastic move, he needs to get those.
Collingwood make a quick takeaway, and out wide, Cook takes the mark. Running inside for him is Reece Shaw, and he's in some space. Could do some damage here. In the end, places it hoping for Lockyer. Collingwood without tall forwards. And it is showing a bit. Here's Michael. Pendlebury bringing him down.
Good tackle.
So Messi from the Bomber defence.
Just another Collingwood midfielder running free in the centre of the ground. Reece Shaw had 30 metres of space. At some stage, that'll hurt you.
Cloak is back on and was the 3rd man up for Collingwood, but now Michael manages to clear it from the 50. Not for long. Medhurst, it was meant for either of 2. It went between them. And now the Bombers have the numbers. Stanton, steal by Fraser, overbalanced as he went. High tackle, Collingwood's ball, Medhurst, but Lovett-Murray coolly over the top of Dale Thomas can relieve for the Dons.
Thomas having a bit of a dog of the day at the moment. Just the one possession. This is Watson. Had so many handballs last week. Gets boot to ball that time. Maybe wished he had a handball because McPhee let him down a little bit. Legged that time O'Brien by Watson.
Travis Cloke quickly brought on Hutto, so he's gone into the forward 50. And you just wonder why he wasn't there to start this second quarter. I thought his first quarter was good.
He leads strongly, but he'll have to double back because they're going to go via Leon Davis, who's coming in for his 9th possession. He's averaging 16 per game this year. Comes off a couple of goals from last week. Back for Heath Shaw, who's got more of it than any other player on the ground so far. This is Cook. Oh, Heath Shaw may have had a moment of nervousness there. Wakelin, Cloke and Thomas are the options. Little shove from Ryder right at the right moment, as it turned out, and the ball forced over.
Just a trip a moment ago. Was it above or below the knee on the tackle? I'm not sure whether we're going to see it. We'll get to it later on. Here goes Nash for Essendon. That's a probing ball. Laycock in the box seat here. Stanton at ground level and didn't have it when he was held, in the opinion of umpire Rosebery.
Yeah, it looked like he had his jumper held there, Brett Stanton. And that'll be a free kick every stage. He's worked really hard, Brett Stanton. He's been tagged very, very closely. Heading back and having a look at that, Tim, I think that was just below the knee. Free kick was there.
It was behind the knee. Stanton to put the Bombers in front. Should certainly do that. He'll hope by a goal. Well, he won't even do it. What a shocker. That was Stephen Kernahan style, 1993. Missing the lot. Terrible kick. Bad wastage of a golden opportunity.
Clark delivering for Pendlebury on the wing. Looks ahead. He sees Travis Cloke in his sights. And also Nathan Brown, who's now up on the wing. But he's going to have to go for the longer option. Thomas comes. And again, Lovett Murray got his timing right. Mel Michael and Hooley. And Fletcher working well up the ground, allowing Laycock with a few extra centimetres on Maxwell there. And he used him to great effect. Remus is there. Now Lloyd doubles back to the square. McPhee there with him. In the old days, he'd take this just about every time. And he worked very hard there and kept it alive for Remus. Seizing the moment. And the Bombers are in front.
Yeah, great call, Hutto. It was Matthew Lloyd working back towards goal. That's something that he's added to his game. That was him there. And Shane Wakelin probably lucky not to give away the free kick. He's such a dangerous player when he's making his defenders go back the other way. And then Remus was the beneficiary. Got the crumbs. Well done, Matthew Lloyd. He's working superbly hard. And a great goal from Remus.
He's a feisty type, young Remus, isn't he?
Apparently he's had his hair dyed a few colours since he's been at Essendon. Bit of an extrovert, and he threaded the eye of the needle, and that was done with will.
Well, he did it well. He started the game playing in a forward pocket and just sacrificed his own game to try to drag Heath Shaw out of the action. Then they benched him, and now he's been brought back onto the Essendon forward line.
So the Bombers lead. And they're more than a match for Collingwood early. Johnson here for Fraser. Oh, well met by Lovett Murray, who just parked his body in the way. Didn't go the tackle. It worked. Dyson runs it forward. Wakelin with McPhee against him. Free kick to Collingwood.
Wakelin's kick.
Silly free kick that from Adam McPhee. It was just unnecessary. Footy was inside 50. Have a look at this hit from Nathan Lovett Murray. Well done. Just came out and dropped Josh Fraser. He's been very good. Done a great job on Dale Thomas.
Didak going wide with the kick, and Swan juggling it just inside the line. So a tale of two forward lines here. Essendon doing well through its talls. Collingwood with really only this man to rely on, Travis Cloke. And he hasn't done a lot so far. The goals have come from their middle-sized players. Good kick from Cloke. Thomas is there. He went early. At the full is Pendlebury. Just couldn't keep it in.
You just worry about the Collingwood forward line without Rocker there, because the little fellas are thinking they've got to do the spectacular fly. One thing about Anthony Rocker, if he doesn't mark it, he creates crumbs which Medhurst and Davis and Thomas can feed off.
Hill brings it to ground. Watson. Ramanaskas very cool and calm. Fletcher back in his normal domain, at least for the moment. Standing start kick was very effective in the end from Stanton. Fletcher kept on moving.
What's he doing down the back?
Stanton kept on moving. Fletcher with his third possession in succession, hoping for a McPhee mark, but Heathshaw steadfast.
Strong in one-on-one marking contest, Heathshaw.
Didak, suddenly the options just drying up for him for a moment, so he goes back to the southern side and back to Shane Wakelin. Bombers leading by a goal.
Wakelin can't see a lot to go to at the moment as the Bombers have flooded the midfield. Heathshaw calls Martin Clark to come to him. Clark now goes longer for Thomas. Lovett Murray's there and did it well, and he's having a good patch here, Nathan Lovett Murray.
Well, he is, and Thomas is just relying on his marking ability to get kicks at the moment, and it's not working.
We're just going to keep an eye on Andrew Lovett and his heart rate. He's had a couple of early touches in this second quarter.
Beautiful work by Hill to Hooley. Clever little look away to Nash. Now Monfries, and Johns just couldn't quite hang on. It was a good build-up. Heathshaw puts Wakelin under some pressure, but he has time. And now he has Didak in some space for him, and this looks promising for Collingwood. Didak kicking early rather than carrying. It was a beautifully weighted ball to Thomas. Now to Cloak, and that's a mark. And it's a possible shot, but from a very difficult spot.
That Didak kick on his right foot, which is his non-preferred, was just superb. Now we saw Fletcher kick one from this exact same spot, and you'd think Travis on his left boot might be a little bit easier.
Hasn't had a lot of it so far, just his fourth kick. It's a good one. Just sneaking around behind the stick, Rob.
Behind the stick too. We'll see what the Bombers do here. They've gone down the centre and they've made space on the flanks.
Adjusted the kick there, Nash, and it was clever for Monfries. They share it around. Stanton's got very busy in this quarter, linking up with Watson. They keep on running. Lovett, oh, he was a little hurried with the handball. And running on here, Lovett trying to apply the pressure. Brown, Swan, Johnson. Goldsacks push forward. Cloak leads into the pocket. Right up with him every step of the way. Was it a mark? No. O'Brien able to keep it alive, but not much more. Watson. Now Slattery. Got a free path through the middle of the ground. Bit of a look away handball. And with each handball, the situation got a little more dire. Hooley over the top. Johns, open goal. Beckens has to go for it. Misses.
It's heart in your mouth stuff, isn't it, when Essendon handball through the middle of the ground? They look like they're going to turn it over a lot, and eventually they keep persevering, and they end up having a shot on goal. It's attacking aggressive play, isn't it?
It's Russian roulette. It comes off sometimes it doesn't, but I tell you what, I love looking at it.
After the goal fest of the first quarter, there's only been one kicked in almost half of the second. Michael falling over, tripping over the football. Slattery, that was above the knee, and he's gone.
Super tackle there by Medhurst, but their big worry is their forward structure, because at the moment they haven't got any, certainly not in this second quarter.
And this has been a problem for Collingwood in the last couple of weeks. Inefficiency when they get the ball inside their 50. Haven't been able to convert. Stabbing kick from Medhurst. Nice idea, the execution not great.
They need an extra tall up forward, because Travis Cloak plays centre-half forward to wings. Maybe Fraser goes full forward, and they just say, Wood, you ruck the rest of this quarter out.
Wood cleverly bringing it down the back. Wellingham barging in. Lovett getting boot to ball for the Dons. Setting it into a contest, which Collingwood should win with the numbers. Reece Shaw, and the Magpies keep the pressure on here. Didak knows how to use the footy, usually, and he might have done there. Thomas, curl up, and he wobbles it home. The Magpies Mariners draw level.
Dale Thomas, only his fourth disposal for the game, and it was a goal. He's been really beaten by Nathan Lovett-Murray. It was just sheer weight of footy. They had the ball inside 50 so many times. Kick from Didak wasn't where it intended. In the end, it was Dale Thomas who swooped on the footy. Needs to get himself more in the game.
We'll have a look at that, the kick to handball ratio, and that's in this quarter. Collingwood 39 kicks, just the 9 handballs, and on the other side of the coin, so much more handball by the Essendon team. This is interesting. Goldsack has been moved to the half-forward line for Collingwood. That puts Travis Cloke down in the goal square.
Fraser mistimed his leap. Laycock on all fours, doing well for Monfries, and then Watson. The last kick into the forward line so crucial. Hill made a contest, and then it's up to the small men. And Thomas doing the business at both ends of the ground and doing it effectively. Swan to Fraser. Had Lockyer flying past, looks up, gets a lead from Cloke. Medhurst in the pocket, decides to honour the Cloke lead. Is he within range?
Well, his best will do it.
Yep. And on a day like this, only the best will do.
Well, it's got there by the barest of margins. Travis Cloke took everything he had in his capacity. It was set up by Josh Fraser. He pushed hard out of the ruck, and his opponent, Jason Laycock, didn't go with him hard enough. That's something he's got to get better at. Got to be able to pick up your opponent better. Fraser reeled it around on the inside, set up this goal for Cloke.
Well, this was touch and go, whether it was a goal. Look where he's kicked it. He could have gone forward another 4 or 5 metres. It's a super long kick, but did the Essendon defender get a hand on it before it crossed the line? Well, the goal umpire's in perfect position. Who are we to argue with it, Hutto? I'm certainly not.
Made it easily. They mightn't have Anthony Rocker with them today, but Travis Cloke doing his best impersonation. Collingwood's ball again. The Magpies have kicked 2 on the trot, and they're pressing once more. Swan for Pendlebury. Dyson prizing it away. Suddenly, Dale Thomas has come to life. Can he bend it across the body? He did, but out to the boundary. They're a different team when he starts to go, and he's going at the moment after a slow start.
And that would please Mick Moldhouse no end. They're certainly looking more dangerous up forward. Laycock. Hurried kick from Dyson. O'Brien for Winderlick, and now we'll see this handball with the Bombers. Well, we won't, because they turned it over, and Tyson Goldsack venturing forward, rewarded with a goal.
Russian roulette, as you said, Wolsey. You can keep flicking the handball around, and it's exciting. I love watching it the same as you do, but sometimes when you're under pressure in defence, and this is just another handball again, didn't find the mark, and Goldsack came in and chipped it out, scored an easy goal.
Goldsack breaks his duck. His first goal in league footy.
Well, he's done well, Tim, because he was only moved to the forward line about 5 minutes ago. And the whole idea of that was to give Travis Cloke some support, because they were very much undersized up forward, Collingwood.
Collingwood went half the quarter without a goal. Suddenly, they've kicked 3 in a couple of minutes. And it's their ball again. And Essendon are just starting to buckle. Pendlebury and Collingwood are starting to run.
Goldsack again.
Working his way forward for the second time in a moment, this time getting into bother. Didak, but Collingwood playing with confidence. Not so good. Laycock, untidy hand pass. Could let the Magpies back in, but Watson. Tate, pairs rather, tackled by Johnson. Stanton. Medhurst arriving hard. McPhee with O'Brien. McPhee saw him off. and he goes for an unguarded goal, but it was ambitious from out there. Behind, Collingwood by 11.
He kicked a beauty last week, didn't he, at Telstra Dome?
Oh, that was as good as you'd see.
Quick kick in, and Harry O'Brien, who last year did the job on Scotty Lucas, kept him goalless. Speaking of goals, goal sack.
That's the move of the match so far, goal sack going forward.
Well, he's going off now, was he?
Well, he needs a spell. He's had that much of it, Hutto.
Swan takes the mark. We saw him playing Daniel Wells last week, didn't we? Goal sack. So they're giving him some more rolls up the ground. Now Dane Swan comes on and off the ground more than any other player in the competition, and just about gets more of the footy than any other player in the competition. Goal kicking not necessarily the main feature of his prowess, but another behind, another score to the Pies, and they extend their lead now to an even 2 goals.
So the game turning in the last 5 minutes. Nash, oh, he's gone a long way since touching it down. Gives to Hooley. Collingwood really applying the cramps here. This could be a big moment. Hooley stripped of it. Didak. Bombers have to close around each other. They've given it up. Swan. Cook. Still Collingwood. O'Brien lost it. Reamers. Love it. Pendlebury for Collingwood. Didak. He was after Thomas, I fancy, but he just couldn't get balanced and give it cleanly. Dyson for the Dons, blazing, getting a result as Lloyd comes up beyond the centre.
It's his first touch this quarter.
It was a good kick from Dyson because they turned over a lot of handballs, and he just looked up and saw Lloyd and was able to clear the path. And now the Bombers can do their little run and share around through the middle of the ground after all. Welsh, Stanton. Out wide for Pears. Has not seen a lot of the footy today. His first kick is inside 50. McPhee, it'll take his best effort.
Super tackle, Heath Shaw.
And he's going to get rewarded, I think. Yes.
Turned into a real star of the competition, Heath Shaw now. Opposition forwards are actually playing on him and trying to take him out of the game. That such is his influence over the game.
Pies have had 13 tackles to 5 in this quarter too. Heath Shaw with 15 possessions. And Reece Shaw getting involved as well. And now Marty Clark up to the wing, and the late inclusion Wellingham. Back for Reece Shaw. Bombers tight ahead and forcing the potential turnover, although no one seems to want to handle it cleanly. Slattery's happy to oblige. Out to the wing for Reamers. Looks up and doesn't really see a lot on offer, so goes as long as he can. McPhee stayed down. Brown didn't. And the Pies out of trouble via Cook. Perhaps.
Eventually. Maybe. Maxwell. To Wakeland.
He's got a big issue with accountability in the midfield walls here. Their midfielders and Didak included in that. Look how easy they get out. 10, 15 metres of space this part of the ground.
Beautiful kick, Didak to Clark. Went for Medhurst. Michael, his opponent in this second quarter. Has size on him, but you'd think Medhurst would have him for mobility. Poor kick from Michael. A real old wobbler off the boot. Swan's able to pinch it. And Marty Clark can go for home. Got under it. And it went wide.
It's so dangerous to play against Essendon because they run and they take you on. But, geez, they give you a chance the other way, don't they? Because their defensive skills at the moment aren't great.
There's 2 players who need interchange, Didak and Slattery. They're shot. In the meantime, Essendon have interchanged Matty Lloyd, and Courtney Johns comes on to centre-half forward.
McPhee, he's spent. The Bombers' defence finding it hard to get the clean disposals out. Nash. Cloak, good anticipation. They're just bubbling away at half forward. O'Brien back for Cloak. You know what he's going to do. Lovett Murray's got to go. And he went and didn't give away the free. Davis with blistering speed as always. Willed himself onto the ball.
Super effort by Leon Davis, Hutto.
Maybe in the old days he might have tried to get back and have a shot for goal, but centred it beautifully for Reece Shaw.
Well, Reece won't make the distance.
Dale Thomas calling for to the extreme right, and he's seen him. No one on the 50. Dale Thomas takes the chance and can't get it to come back.
Just can't understand how a dangerous forward like Dale Thomas gets 30 or 40 metres clear inside 50. Matthew Knights there would be pulling his hair out at that. You've got to pick up a player, you've got to pick up anyone inside 50, and they just give you a bit much of a chance. It was great by Leon Davis there, just kept his feet so well.
Collingwood bulldozing Essendon at the moment. Big swing in the game from about the middle point of this second quarter. It's been almost exclusively in one half of the ground. Nash kicks to Lovett Murray. Bombers badly need a steadying goal. Hard to see where it's going to come from right now. This is Welsh. Less than 3 minutes to go in the term. Magpies opening a 14-point margin. Welsh to Slattery, but it was always going to be difficult. And Didak has become a factor.
Mark play-ons, have a look at that. 25 times they've played on this quarter after a mark, Collingwood. Essendon just 8. That's the stat that Geelong dominate with in this competition.
All Collingwood here. Pendlebury. Now Medhurst rather likes these. He is freakish. He is a freak, and he's kicked his third goal.
Yeah, he's a freak, Tim. It's a fair call. He's got that ability to kick a goal that not many people in the competition would even attempt. Always looked like kicking that. Again, it was 3 Collingwood midfielders just sitting there on their own across half forward with too much space.
Get it.
He likes a degree of difficulty in his shots, Paul Medhurst.
I reckon the message has gone out to Dustin Fletcher. Have a look at that. We need you to shore up the defence. Collingwood have got the run on, and the Essendon runner's gone out, and the big fella's going back to familiar territory.
19 minutes since an Essendon goal, and suddenly the margin is getting out to dangerous proportions. And the Pies are going to go forward again. Fletcher straight back into his normal role. Didn't do it cleanly, though. Brown was able to give Johnson an opportunity and put it on a plate for Tarkin Lockyer's second goal. And the Pies are running rampant at the G.
Tarkin Lockyer started inside the centre square bounce for that particular contest, and he pushed down his midfield opponent. He's nowhere in the picture, and this is just happening at will at the moment. Look at that space. Someone has got to go with him and defend. Someone in the midfield must have been his opponent. Got to put their hand up and say, I've got to defend when it's my turn to defend. They're not prepared to do that at the moment.
Collingwood have kicked 5-3 to 1 behind in 13 minutes and lead by 26 points.
Medhurst 3 goals, giving Mal Michael the runaround. Not a good matchup for Essendon.
Hill, clean tap. Watson the take, and Welsh. Bombers desperate for something to take to half-time. Pears, O'Brien with him, and did enough. So less than 2 minutes to go in the half. Didak having a breather that he deserves. Collingwood's back half having to hold up. They'll be fresh. The ball hasn't been there for a while. And here they are, swarming the ball again. O'Brien, Wellingham ambitious against Remus. Back to O'Brien. He finds Cook. Back to Wellingham. Collingwood playing with confidence. Cloak a long way from goal. Too far this time, but there are plenty of possibilities. And Medhurst, dropping the sitter, and Mal Michael gets out of jail.
Such a clever kick by Travis Cloak to pull the kick, and Medhurst made his biggest blue of the game.
That is Paul Medhurst. The easier it is, the more likely he is to make a mistake. Oh, Fletcher just about bringing that rain that Mark Howard's been warning us about. Clark used his body for O'Brien. Now Reece Shaw. Still the Magpies press. Medhurst. Now he might do something here because he's got no hope. He gives it to Lovett, although he managed to cross the boundary line with it, which is not a bad result for the Magpies.
Have a look at that. How do you drop it?
Shut his eyes. It's just, as you said, too easy for him, wasn't it? The margin 26. One more goal would make things almost impossible for the Bombers. They certainly don't want to concede it. They'd love to be able to bag one themselves. Welsh with a long kick, making it awfully tough for Stanton. who worked very hard, but it meant that Dane Swan was able to keep his feet and stroll in for another one. And they are very, very happy about it. It's beyond 5 goals. And Matthew Knights is going to have to come up with something very, very soon.
Well, it's another poor error by foot. This kick out here from Welsh, it was just, well, gave Brett Stanton virtually no chance. He made a pretty good contest. Ball spilled for Dane Swan, and he just able to waltz into an open goal. They've got to get in at half-time and have a chat about defending. It's okay when they're going the other way and they're running and handballing, they look dangerous, and you think, geez, this is exciting footy. You've also actually got to go back and pick up your man. At the moment, Collingwood midfielders are just running rampant with no opponents, and they're good players. Dane Swan, Tarkin Lockyer, if you give these guys space, Woolsey, they'll just keep scoring.
Well, they will, Luke, and Reece Shaw playing another ripper game for the Magpies. He's got the tagging job on Lovett and doing it very, very well. I reckon the Essendon game plan exhausts the Bombers more than anyone else.
Well, maybe that's what's happened, because for a quarter and a half they were on top in this game, and then Collingwood kicked 6 in 15 minutes. Here's Winderlich. That was scarcely 15, surely. It's ruled to have travelled far enough. Boy, he can have a shot after the bell as long as he doesn't edge out off the mark. He might be a little lucky to be having it. So, Angus Monfries it is. The man on the mark, a bit over 40 metres out. The angle of Tester. And the scoreboard a shocker now for the Dons. They're 32 points down.
Accurate shot for goal is this young man.
Collingwood fans doing their best to distract him. There's the contract. Starts well right, and he scores a behind. Bombers needed better. They trail by 31 points at halfway in the big Anzac Day game at the MCG.
Thank you, boys. Let's have a look at the GPS figures that we're following with the 3 Essendon players from the first half. David Hill, Andrew Lovett and Nathan Lovett-Murray. Now, first of all, the distance and the breakdown, Das, of how much they jog and how much they run and how much they sprint.
Yeah, I've been paying a lot of close attention to David Hill in particular. Andrew Lovett's worked fairly hard. Total distance there of about 6.5 k's and only about 1 kilometre of that at full speed. Hill's been pretty quiet, Hutto. He's just had the 6 disposals. Hasn't really had the massive impact. He's been in great form prior to today's match. There's the speed, top speed for Andrew Lovett. No surprise about him being the fastest on the ground. He's electrifying. Hill's the man they need to get them back into the game.
Well, he's got his opportunity as we start the second half.
Essendon staring at a 31-point deficit. First of all, they've got to stop the rot. Collingwood doing all the attacking late in the second term. And here they go again as Johnson goes to Medhurst, and he's picked it up low down. He's been wreaking havoc. He likes to make it a little bit hard. Fraser is there at the back. Oh, he almost marked that. Cloak! But it had crossed the line. It's a behind.
And on screen there, that was Josh Fraser opposed to David Hill. He'd run him right under the centre square bounce all the way to the goal square. So Hill's mind now is saying, I've got to pick up my man, and he nearly had a goal scored against him. So good work to Josh Fraser.
And again, the Essendon players huddle at the centre half back position and make their break.
And can Winderlich hit somebody?
It's not working for them because Collingwood put the outriders, and the Essendon players are not sure where to go.
You have to work very hard to find Slattery. He looks up and sees only empty space other than McPhee, who works hard along the wing, but O'Brien was awake to that. Watson chipping in to be the little short option. But they've been stagnant, haven't they, really, off half-back since quarter time. They've tried to create with the handball, but often their teammates haven't been in great position. That's a little better. Nass receiving from Lloyd, and then going with a long kick and giving Fletcher a good one-on-one opportunity down there against Brown. He did go to ground, though, and that allowed the Magpie defence to team up and swoop. Cook to Pendlebury, the smooth mover.
This bloke, Reece Shaw, gets out in space better than anyone because he runs harder than anyone.
And he strides forward with plenty of intent. It's going to be a tough ask for Travis Cloak, but they are pretty overwhelming at the moment, the Magpies.
Well, we saw that Essendon ball go forward, and Dustin Fletcher put the big go-go gadget arms out, almost took the mark, didn't. It got swept away with ease, and now it's at the other end of the ground.
Their ability to find a man in the centre of the ground, Essendon, is a real worry.
As tight as it comes for a left footer. Too tight, as it turns out. So the margin at 33.
Well, we'll just see again if the Bombers get the huddle going in the middle of the centre half back area. Looks like they have. And you can see Collingwood have got players on the outer circle. And it's just higgledy-piggledy what they're doing.
So in desperation, it's a long ball, and it's even money out there. O'Brien, Didak of Collingwood. Reema's on his feet for Essendon. And a ball up is the result.
Been a good one-on-one battle, that Henry Slattery and Alan Didak on the ground. Slattery's been doing the tagging job.
Ryder doing the ruck work. Fraser arriving a little behind him. Again, it's Collingwood's ball. Fraser, Johnson, Clark there for the hand pass. He, like Johnson, trapped on his wrong side. Misses Fraser, so a throw in. It's just degenerating a little, but Essendon showing no good early signs. And Collingwood have had a couple of chances already to significantly extend the lead. Hill the tap to Watson, to Stanton, and Lovett Murray, and Lovett rather, and the Bombers this time are away. Lovett using his explosive speed and sitting it up for Fletcher. Well played, Brown. Had a horror start in the match. Did well there to Clark.
Again on the wing, Luke, on the rebound, Collingwood find someone in enormous space.
It's far too easy for them on. Medhurst drops another sitter. Oh, Mel Michael, real problems.
Super tackle by the smaller Tarkin Lockyer.
Wouldn't say he had a lot of prior opportunity there, Mel. And Tarkin Lockyer's got to go back behind the mark.
I reckon Tarkin thinks he can run off Big Mel. He's going to have a third crack.
Didak hit it too hard. Slattery there to clean up. Stanton, again the handball, missing the target, making it awfully difficult. Maxwell not giving away the free on Welsh.
Mick Malthouse will he'll be going grayer because he's seen his forwards just drop sitters. Medhurst twice, and there's Medhurst, and then we saw Didak miss one.
Can you go grayer than what he is, Wolsey?
Don't get me into trouble.
Heath Shaw slamming it forward, a little more haphazard. Maybe that'll be more effective. Makes the task more difficult, and that's just what Medhurst likes. He got a cruel bounce that time, and surely this time Essendon can carry it forward unencumbered. Lovett Murray, no, they've still made a mess of it. Lovett's handball for Lovett Murray. And the margin's still at 33, so they've had their chances to go forward with meaning in this third quarter. Hill and Fraser, the struggle continues. Hill doing it on his own that time. Hooley and Watson powering forward. Well done, but equally well done.
A couple of good smothers. The one percenters, all important. Players get recognised by their teammates.
Marty Clark.
With one hand. Fraser for Pendlebury. Leon Davis. Very clever and cool. Pendlebury. Fraser again, and now the Magpies are on the break. First game of Wellingham over the top, should set up an easy goal for Lockyer. Time to steady and drive it home for the Magpies. Lockyer's third, one in every quarter, and Essendon in disarray.
There's Josh Fraser on screen. He's had a couple of wins against David Hill. He just pushed at the right moment. Hill was trying to attack forward when he hadn't won the footy. And again, the overlap play on. It's, again, it's 3 men in the midfield for Collingwood. Going to keep scoring.
Well, a massive crowd here at the MCG, and they've seen Collingwood score 7 of the last 8 goals. And Matty Knight, you've got to make some changes. One of them would be to get Fletcher, the fullback, down to the fullback line, move Courtney Johns up forward, because at the moment it is completely slipping away.
And it doesn't look like it's going to improve in the next minute or so. Pendlebury, O'Brien, and now Marty Clark in his best form of the season so far. Lockyer deciding to let it bounce, which allowed the Bombers' defence to close.
But Lockyer playing on Mel Michael and just loving it, because he knows if he gets on his bike, Mel won't be able to catch him. So just some bad matchups there in that Essendon backline.
Hill. Slattery left it behind. Leon Davis didn't, and didn't score a goal either. Margin 40 now.
It might also be time to just give David Hill a spell in the goal square. Bring Fletcher back, as you said, and let Laycock do a fair bit of the ruck work in this quarter.
For a start, Luke, Fletcher can at least roost the ball outside the defensive 50. You got this little bloke Winderlich. He doesn't know what he's doing down there. He doesn't want the responsibility.
Collingwood 30 to 16 disposals this quarter. 6 of the Magpies to Scott Pendlebury, tearing Essendon apart. They've kicked the last 7 goals of the match. Nash to Michael. Bombers become aimless about here, and that is not quite that good.
Well, they've taken Mel Michael off. He was the one who just kicked that ball, well, foolishly, lazily, to Heath Shaw, so he's been given a spell. Tarkin Lockyer has a new opponent, and that's Winderlich.
Johnson poking it wide for Goldsack, who bobbed up with a goal in the second quarter, the first of his career. Collingwood by 40 after trailing in the middle stages of the second term. Hill straight to Watson, but through his fingers, and Goldsack gives to Didak. Here go the Magpies again to Cloak.
Get Johns off, get Fletcher down. It's too late as it is. And Courtney Johns, he's a forward. It's okay to experiment, but you do that at match practice, you do it pre-season, and in front of 90,000 people. I think the experiment's over for today.
Just at the moment, it's in danger of blowing out to startling proportions. Collingwood lead by 40, and Travis Cloak steers it home for his second and makes it 46.
Here's some footage of Courtney Johns playing on Travis Cloak. He's just fallen asleep there.
Lost him, didn't he?
Yeah, no feel on his opponent, and that's a forward playing as a defender. Need to be more aggressive and put your arm across.
John stays there. They've got Laycock in the ruck now, Luke. What do you make of him? He's been at Essendon for a few years now.
He's been there a long while, Walls, and he needs to do more. He's shown patches of good form, but never consistently put together 4 quarters. They really need him now.
Bombers in danger of becoming a rabble at the moment. One thing, though, they have been able to do a number of times this year when they've looked gone, they've kept attacking and been able to get back in matches. Ryder. Oh, there was some high contact there. This might be a start for them against Heath Shaw. He just fell over and grappled and got Welsh.
Thought Matthew Lloyd started the game pretty well today. This free kick was definitely on Heath Shaw, right across the head. The only problem is he can really only play full forward. Now you'd love your captain to get him into the play. Can you get him up on a wing or maybe even across half-back in defence? He hasn't played there throughout his whole career. And when the skipper, who started the game pretty well, Wolsey, just not sure where else you can put him on the ground at the moment.
I don't think Matthew Lloyd can play anywhere but full forward. And we've seen it in recent weeks. If you've got a captain at full forward and your team's struggling, like David Neitz at Melbourne and Matthew Lloyd with Essendon, I think the team suffers greatly.
Not a big goal kicker over the years, Andrew Welsh, but he does the job there. Is at the start for them to try and get back into the game.
Heath Shaw just overplaying it there. He needed to get back and make it body on body, but the raised arm gave the umpire no choice. Obvious free kick. Welsh finishing the job. Magpies supporters are smiling. This Anzac Day match, they've won the last 2. It looks like 3 in a row as they lead by 40.
Paddy Ryder out on the wing, back of picture there on Alan Didak. So Matty Knight certainly throws things around.
Wood, a clear window. O'Brien to Medhurst, and he can line up for his 4th. Will he play on? I thought he was going to.
Well, he's dropped a couple of sitters, but Luke picked it early in the game. This is not a good matchup because Winderlich hasn't got the body strength to go with Medhurst. You just see there, just eases him out, lets the ball come onto his chest. He's an experienced, strong marking, medium-sized forward.
Well, they haven't found the happy medium. They tried Michael on him in the second quarter. He had the body strength but didn't have the mobility. And now Medhurst from dead in front. He kicks his fourth, and again the Magpies lead by 46.
Been fantastic, Paul Medhurst. His work rate has really impressed me. In the past, you've probably seen him as a flashy forward who comes in and out of the game. Well, he now just consistently works hard and he's getting the rewards for his efforts.
We made the point, boys, before the coverage that some of Essendon's defenders just concede too many disposals. Normally, on average this year, Paddy Wright has conceded 3 more disposals than he's been able to get. It's a lot worse than that today. 3 compared to 14 with his direct opponents. Out of the middle, it's 46 points. Trying to generate something is Ricky Dyson, giving them some run at least. Long ball, Lloyd's going to come late, and he almost marked it. No free, and Heathshaw was somehow able to get it out of there with some help from Marty Clark. And on to Reeshaw, and on to Pendlebury. And on to Wellingham. And Pendlebury again. Woods pushed forward. Laycock can't get there to stop it. He loops around. Leon Davis is the long option. Also down there, Goldsack. Watson arrived in the nick of time for the Bombers and just released it. Winderlick was prepared to chance his arm a little bit, and it turned out okay. Reamers from Slattery, and now Monfries with Didak for company.
Tough job being an Essendon defender, Wolsey. The ball just comes in there so many times. It's 46 inside 50s to 25.
And Matty Lloyd just gets the man in the green fluoro coming out to say, you better come off. He'll be feeling really flat.
Hill goes on. Sting just going out of the game for the moment. This is where the Bombers need to find a couple of answers. Poses some interesting medium-term questions for Essendon this performance. Cameron Wood stamping himself on the game with a terrific mark.
He's done some good things in the last few minutes.
Josh Fraser started in the goal square on Courtney Johns, just jogged up to the wing and got 20 metres on him.
Again, it was Pendlebury delivering his 22nd disposal.
This is the run again of Reece Shaw.
Oh, he's been paid that a little generously, I'd have thought.
No one runs harder than Reece Shaw, and the modern game suits him to a T.
Well, this fellow might run almost as hard, Pendlebury, because he started the move at half-back and he's on the end of it and can have a shot, and the bottom's fallen out of it for Matthew Knights. Well,
we're looking at Fletcher. He's gone into the back line at last. He hadn't had a touch up forward, and we're 15 minutes into this third term. Did he mark it?
I doubt it. But have a look in tomorrow's paper. Scott Pendlebury, goalless so far. Still goalless. Not a great kick that, but what a mark that is by Medhurst again. He's on fire.
Well, he didn't have an opponent. That's the sad thing about it. Essendon supporters would be entitled to say what's going on out there.
Oh, he's not allowed to do it. He's going to have to come back and kick over the mark.
I'm not sure Mick Moldhouse would be happy with the check side punt either.
You don't reckon, Rob?
I don't think he'd be surprised.
No, he wouldn't be surprised. The making of this fellow as a footballer to come to Victoria.
Keep going there. Out. Pull back one.
It's a long time in the making, this goal, isn't it?
I think he'll check side it.
See, have you ever seen anything like this? He does. No mistake. He has 5. Collingwood's ton up. Second consecutive bag of 5 for Paul Medhurst, producing career best form. And Collingwood careering away, lead by 52 points. That's some launch.
And he had a lot of space, didn't he? His opponent there didn't even get in the air, and just too easy, but about 5 metres out from goal. He's a different player, isn't he? I mean, probably could have slotted a drop punt through, but he was always going to kick the check side. Matthew Knights is going to stick with this attacking game plan, which is fantastic. Geez, he's missed Alwyn Davey today. His ability to chase down and apply some pressure forward. They've had none of that. All I've seen is just free Collingwood players right across the ground. And inside 50, Pendlebury then had 20 metres of space inside 50.
Can he go with this game plan all year, Darcy, if they keep copping hidings like this?
I think it's the best way to learn. If he's brave enough and he sticks to his guns, I think he should. But they've got to add a bit of defensive element to their game as well. They've got to be able to be more accountable as well.
Just going to say that if they can't execute the plan, then the downside is significant. O'Brien takes it to the line. And it's over.
Fletcher's gone forward again.
Kevin Sheedy, of course, a dominant influence on this match over the years, and as to James Hird and Nathan Buckley, all spectators today. Brent Stanton wearing James Hird's famous number 5, 3 times an Anzac medal winner. Now Lovett trying to organise the forward line as he ran through the middle of the ground and was able to beckon Angus Monfries, who sees a bit of an opening. McPhee's going to have to work hard to get on that. In the end, it had too much carry out on the full. Anthony Rock, a late withdrawal today.
They've certainly been able to make up his absence with a revamped forward line, and it's about to come into play again. Wellingham has done some useful things on debut. Oh, Cook ran into a stiff run. He's going to come out of it with a free, apparently for being held. So it's Collingwood by 52. Kyle Reimers is the new opponent for Medhurst, his 3rd of the day. Meanwhile, the hit's on Courtney Johns because Travis Cloak's got it again. And Collingwood's defence picking holes in the Essendon defence. Scott Burns still waiting to play his 250th game. Looking on again, hopefully back next week. Now Cloak out in the difficult pocket for the left footer that he is. Has 2 for the day. Still 2. Doesn't add to his score there. It's out on the full.
Well, it looks as though Matthew Knights is going to stick with Courtney Johns on Travis Cloak. Have you ever been in that situation and been stubborn and said, I'm going to leave him there no matter what?
No.
Yes. Wayne Johnston, former Carlton captain, half-forward flanker. I actually played him in the back pocket once, and he thought it was so easy. I kept him there the second week, and Brad Hardy kicked 5 goals on him, and then 6, and then 7. And I thought, well, I'll leave you there to learn how to play it. Hardy kicked 9. Brisbane Bears won. I got the sack the next week. I taught him a lesson.
50-metre penalty paid there against Pendlebury. We've heard the explanation from the umpire. Against Cook, in fact, it was. Hurley spotted through the centre circles. Lloyd's away at half forward. He'll mark probably within range. On a good day, he looks like he wants to move it on. And will take his very best from there.
This would be a good sign of his fitness, as you said, Hart. I reckon at his peak of his powers, he would have gone back and he would have carried the distance. Has he still got the ability to do that?
Does your Essendon friend think he can kick it from there, Wilson?
I think he's a good chance to kick that. He's certainly taking his time. Collingwood supporters are booing him.
Good to see Reimers and Thomas getting into it too. We mentioned before young Cole Reimers, a feisty type. Matthew Lloyd. It was just beyond him. McPhee from the side, and the mark taken by Brown. Lots of discussion points about the future of the Bombers. Wellingham, as you said, Tim has done some nice things.
Pretty good start in front of a big crowd on a day that could disturb the equilibrium of a young man.
This is the earliest a team's reached 100 points in an Anzac Day match too, so that just shows how much the Bombers are conceding here.
And here's Wellingham again. And Clark inside him, but coming the other way was Stanton, and the Bombers could make something of this. Nathan Brown, after a shattering first quarter, 3 goals kicked against him. McPhee finds a way through but blazes, and David Hill standing in the goal squares a little disappointed.
No one was going to stop McPhee. He put out the big don't argue a couple of times there. 1, 2. Good on him. At least he's showing a bit of resolve.
Well, Pendlebury's got away, so the Collingwood side not having the same issues that Essendon are from the kick in. To Ben Johnson. To Fraser. Who's in line for the medal, do you think, at the moment? It's only early in terms of making a final decision.
Well, if Medhurst doesn't drop any more, perhaps Medhurst, Hutto.
This bloke might be in the reckoning as well.
Yes, he's playing well.
25th possession coming up for
Josh Fraser.
Scott Pendlebury. To Heath Shaw, who was prominent early. Dane Swan. Wood again, providing a big tall presentation. Good bit of sneaky work from Cook. No one wanted to come at him, so he put it out for Leon Davis, who did everything but take the mark. He's not finished with just yet.
Super kick.
And Tarkin Lockyer, who's found himself in the firing line up forward tonight, or this afternoon more so than usual. Just the 7 disposals, but he's kicked 3 goals, 1, so he's not been as prolific as he normally is. But I'm sure he wouldn't mind kicking a bag full on Anzac Day. That one across the face. And really, Collingwood have missed quite a few chances, haven't they? So the damage could have been even more.
Yeah, they've really dominated. They've had, since quarter time, just had so much of the footy, so many free players with plenty of time and space. Dangerous kick there.
Oh, Bombers under the pump again. John's getting that big body in there, but you wouldn't necessarily back them to get out of this. Dale Thomas just wobbles at the wrong side. The Magpies by 52, their biggest ever winning margin on Anzac Day against Essendon. 33 in that wet game in 2002 when the scores were low. Collingwood kicked 66 to 33.
Love it carefully for Winderlick.
Pendlebury in picture, 13 disposals this quarter.
Hurley takes the mark. The absence of genuine depth in the Essendon midfield still a real problem for them, isn't it?
Yeah, Mark McVeigh's a big omission. Leroy Jetta adds that extra bit of speed and suits the game plan, as does Courtney Dempsey. So fair few players to come back, and Scotty Lucas the other one.
Yeah, and Davey as well, of course.
Paid a push there against David Hill. Just not having his best day, David Hill.
Cameron Wood's going to use Heath Shaw on the way out. A lack of pressure apparent at the moment. Not something we're used to on Anzac Day. And the Magpies have worked Ben Johnson into the clear. And Medhurst is not finished with yet.
He likes to make that mark. Part of the ritual.
Well, it's working for him at the moment.
Umpire telling him to go back and take his kick. He said, I want to do my routine. Let me take the mark. But again, I'm labouring the point a bit, but if you give a midfielder of any class 20 metres of space, they're going to hit a target every time, and that happens every time as Dustin Fletcher comes off.
Yeah, it's getting worse for the Bombers. They've put the white flag up with Fletcher, I reckon. The doctor and physio there, and said no good.
Over 200 goals already in his career. Only 26 years of age, Paul Medhurst. So he's still got plenty of future ahead of him, hasn't he? And Magpies would be delighted with the outcome of the trading they did at the start of last year.
Great outcome for them. It was a risk. Medhurst's record was patchy and didn't seem to be getting better when Collingwood took him.
No, I agree, Tim. I think in the last 12 months he's really turned himself into a very much an all-round player. He was always good attacking, but he can lock the ball in and do the 1%ers which coaches want, and Malthouse will get that out of anyone.
Ryder just having to try and get it to McPhee with the numbers against him. Gets it back. Good effort. Not for any major result yet. Watson gaining a few metres. Shane Wakeland barging the Lloyd tackle, taking it over the line, so a throw-in.
Uncontested marks, have a look at that, 93 to 49, and that just goes to show that Essendon players don't work hard enough when there's a turnover. They don't chase hard enough. They don't put pressure on the opposition. And the way it's going at the moment, the Pies are having a picnic.
Oh, and it is. Look, this breakaway just with ridiculous ease. And now it's Thomas streaming goalward and selflessly giving it over the top to Lockyer. Has Medhurst calling for it away from goal in the corridor, but it was fraught with risk, so Lockyer goes back. Difficult position from which to kick a goal. Mick Malthouse would have to be happy with this. Collingwood coming off two somewhat disturbing losses against Carlton and the Kangaroos.
And that's why they were always going to be hard to beat today, Tim.
Took a while to get going, but once they have, they've done it well. They've kicked 10 of the last 11 goals. And it's an Essendon free kick as that goes way across the face.
David Hill, such a pivotal player for Essendon at the moment. And Basher Hooley has been in good form of late. He's had it another 16 times today. Getting up around his average, just under 20. Mal Michael for Stanton. He's had Cook for company for a lot of the day, and he's worked pretty hard. His 20th touch coming up. Wants to go down the line, test the skills. Ryder was there, but young Brown fully committed to the contest.
And look at his teammates go over and give him a pat on the back. That's a fantastic sign. I just love the way this young fella plays. He's not interested in the marks. He's not interested in anything flash. He'll just do his job to defend.
Dyson's ball. O'Bree's tackle, so a ball up. In the last 20 seconds of the third quarter, another big one for Collingwood. They've kicked 4 goals to 1 and put this game beyond Essendon's reach. 53 points is the margin. Steal by Pendlebury. Does that count as a stat?
Yeah, 16 now for the quarter.
Number 29 for the day. He might be medal bound. Cleverly steered Didak to Cook. Went for Lockyer. Lovett leads Davis, and that's the last act of the third quarter. And Collingwood have this match under control. 53-point leaders after Essendon led early, and Matthew Knight's looking at a deflated figure.
Yeah, it's looking like an absolute blowout here. There's Mick Malthouse on screen. Collingwood have just dominated all areas of the game. Tarkin Lockyer's kicked 3 goals. Just been able to get free possession in the midfield. Matthew Lloyd's been struggling. Big last quarter coming up.
Well, today, of course, a big game, and in 2 weeks, another huge one on Saturday night footy coming up.
And at the other end of the ground, Angus Monfries becomes Paul Medhurst's third opponent, although Windalic's had 2 goes. So, in effect, they've had 4 tries at him.
It's not
Fletcher,
a good sign, that, is it?
As Andy Marr suggested, probably finished for the day. Final term is underway, and it's Collingwood's ball immediately. They've kicked 10 of the last 11 goals. The match changed without warning in the middle of the second term. He goes Lovett for the Dons. There's an edge out by Stanton, an arm into the back of Cook. Not paid. The mark is paid, and Brent Stanton will kick from about 50 metres out.
That seems to be the right technique to get around the hands in the back rule. If you use a forearm, the umpire's prepared to let that one go, and
just put an elbow in the back of the neck, that's all right. But if you put a finger in the back, Luke, that's not all right.
Free kick.
It makes nonsense of the spirit of the law, doesn't it? Stanton from 49. And he's done it. So the Dons kick only their second since half-time.
Tried very hard, Brent Stanton. He's had Ryan Cook as his opponent for most of the day. Had 21 possessions and just really solid work. Hasn't given up at all, but he's had very few teammates that have come along and put in the effort that he's put in.
Looking at the Collingwood bench, there's Pendlebury, Heath Shaw and Dane Swan sitting at the back with Travis Cloak. The three midfielders have all averaged 24 disposals to this stage of the game. I just have a feeling Mick Malthouse is saying, have a spell, boys.
The bouncing's been pretty good today, but that one from Michael Vozzo got away from him a little. Maxwell brought down when he didn't have it.
Just to strengthen that point, Wolsey, Heath Shaw averages 98% of game time through the first 5 weeks. So interesting remembering the comments made during the week by a couple of Magpie players, including Josh Fraser, about them being a little tired.
You're spot on, Hutto, and it's all management about your players, and I would think that the Collingwood coach is pretty confident that his boys will win this one so he can fiddle around a little bit.
Here's the Bombers' new forward, Mel Michael, in the contest with Lloyd. Not a lot of mobility there, but there is some strength, which Didak feels. Brown to Didak, and Collingwood managed to conjure it away. David Hill in their path. Free kick to the Dons. They're called on, and Watson steers it to Winderlick and Lovett Murray.
With a bit of pace up, Lovett Murray is able to set it up. Stanton had to go as a defender in the end. Maxwell using Cook and Johnson. And Oldsack's kick out onto the wing. Didak to Fraser. Davis had a bit of a run up but didn't get the footy. Lockyer, he has run rampant at times up forward. Could have gone for Medhurst, instead goes for Thomas. Lovett finding life as a defender quite difficult. He's going to get a free here though, I think, for a bit of holding.
Wasn't much of a hole in it.
Just a little grapple. Lovett Murray with a bit of a run up, wanting to share it out there with Angus Monfries.
That was just silly play.
So Mel Michael, Lloyd the long target. Let's see how much he's got left in the tank. A fair bit, but just not enough to complete the mark. And O'Brien bringing Marty Clark into the play. Hunted by Lloyd, back for Nathan Brown. Monfries now with the job perhaps on Medhurst, and did pretty well there. But only pretty well, because Medhurst is at the top of his game, and Goldsack as the Pies swing into action again. Wood, a big, long, strong target. He's getting better and better by the game.
What do you make of Cam Wood, Luke? He's been up in Brisbane a long while, third or fourth string ruckman, given real opportunity here with Collingwood.
Yeah, I think he's a great inclusion into the Collingwood lineup. He really read that footy particularly well, got rid of Paddy Ryder, stood up and took a strong grab. He's going to give Josh Fraser plenty of assistance. He looks athletic and mobile. Going to be a good inclusion for this side.
So Big Wood, just the 5 disposals for the day. He makes that one count, and the lead's back out past 50.
Paul Medhurst again, another one-on-one contest. He's got a new opponent in Angus Monfries. He's a very hard player to match up on now, Medhurst. He's good in the air, and the thing he's added to his game is a really high work rate. He pushes himself across the ground, and he would be online for an Anzac Day medal, I would think.
Just Cameron Wood's second career goal, but he looks capable of taking a mark and perhaps doing some damage up front. Scars of battle showing on the Bombers. They're being hammered by Collingwood. Down by the best part of 9 goals. And it only looks like getting worse in this last quarter. The biggest ever winning margin between these teams on Anzac Day was in 2003 when Essendon won by 66 points.
Brent Stanton looking in trouble after that contest.
O'Brien with the odds against him here, but Lockyer came in to lend a hand. Didak to steal. The thief in the night. That's another one to the Magpies.
Dangerous forward setup, isn't it, when you've got Alan Didak and Paul Medhurst running around. Didak's just a sensational player. Had 29 disposals in their loss last week. And got some close checking earlier today by Henry Slattery, but he's just so dangerous around goal. Got that X factor.
If there was any doubt, Joffa's gone for the flag.
Just looking at Shane Wakeland down there. It's his 15th season of league football, game number 238, and whilst Collingwood are kicking those goals, he just goes across to young Ryan Cook playing his 5th game and says, keep your mind on the job, son. Then he steps over to the other back pocket and he has a chat to Nathan Brown, who's just playing his 6th game. Wonderful to have experience like that on your last line of defence.
8th season out of those 15 now with Collingwood. Into the pocket, and the man of the moment, Medhurst. As single-minded as ever. Delivered beautifully.
Would he have done that with the Dockers, Hutto?
Probably not. He would have been dancing around Jeff Farmer trying to get the ball, and I think that they just felt in the end that there wasn't enough room for the two of them.
Been very hard to tackle today, Medhurst. Look at that, another opportunity from Joe Watson, and he's got a strong core. Players just bounce off him.
And Scott Pendlebury, very much the future of the Collingwood Football Club. And as we've said a number of times, the damage could have been a lot worse, not just with the 17-13, the 30 scoring shots, but they've had some that haven't made the distance or have gone out on the full as well. So 60 points is the margin.
Very obliging of Medhurst to give Pendlebury the scoring shot, because they, I reckon, would be vying for the medal. And Pendlebury's just taken another step towards wearing it himself as he gives to Lockyer.
Are you ever aware, Luke, that you're heading for a best on-ground performance when you're out there?
I think both those guys would know that they're pretty close. I reckon Pendlebury would have a fair idea. He's had 31 disposals. He wouldn't know that exactly.
What about yourself?
Was I ever aware of it?
Were you ever aware of it?
Yeah, it didn't happen a lot at the end, Wolsey, but you always know when you're going all right, don't you?
Of course you do.
Pendlebury and Medhurst trading blow for blow. Medhurst with 5 goals. The impossible angle. He likes it tough. The tougher the better. What a kick.
He knows he's going all right, doesn't he?
Don't get ahead of yourself, young man.
He is extraordinary.
Well,
give him the easy one. As Brent Croswell once said, put me in front of 10,000 on a cold day at the Western Oval, I was nothing. Put me in front of 100,000 at the MCG, I was Hercules. Paul Medhurst, I reckon, went to the Croswell School of Football.
Nothing wrong with the Western Oval, Tim. Just, you don't mind.
Well, it's worth watching Paul Medhurst for the remainder of this game to see what else he does. Has he got the jacket on?
Yeah, I think he has.
He reckons
Getting
they're
ahead of
home.
himself.
You'll get a text message from Eddie.
66 points. This is Paul Medhurst's 3rd best performance in his career. He's kicked 9 as a best, but it ain't over yet. I'm sure he wants some more. Stanton trying to generate some footy, but can't. It's Swan instead inserting the pies. Fraser doing the dance with Nathan Lovett-Murray. Ramanauskas, they're circling down there. Cameron Wood locking it in and giving Rammer a push and a shove, and the Bombers fans agree with Joffa's diagnosis on the match.
No Anthony Rocket today. He was a late withdrawal, Wolsey. The Collingwood forward setups worked pretty well without him.
Yes, they've been good. They've delivered the ball into the forward 50 better than they did in their previous 2 games, which they lost.
Stanton striding out through the middle. Jay Nash. Watson sent forward. No interference. Well done by Welsh. Good body pressure. And we give Essendon another chance. Stanton going wide for Watson, who makes a bit of a mess of it. Johns right along the line. It will suit his left foot. Back for Welsh is pretty painstaking, though, isn't it, for Essendon? Dyson. Bit of a run-up. Good roost. And it's online as well.
was a terrific kick. The man on the mark's 3 steps outside. He's kicked that from more than 55. Still the margin is 10 goals despite a massive shot from Ricky Dyson, kicking the Bombers 9th.
Just wondering where the rain is that Mark Howard promised earlier.
It's up there.
Umpires have bounced the ball well today, boys.
That's a big compliment coming from you, Robert Walls.
How's the boundary umpires gone, Wallsy? All right?
No, they've been good too.
O'Brien getting the head over it. Winderlich stealing it. Hooley. Good young player. Pears placed it for Mal Michael to turn back the clock. And he can go back and from 20 metres out kick a goal, something he rarely does these days.
I think Mal's early days with Collingwood were at full forward, and then they turned him into a full back, and of course he had the glory years with Brisbane, 3 times premiership full back.
Kicked a memorable goal too, didn't he, at fullback up at the Gabba one night?
He did.
An own
really
goal.
Just 30 career goals for Big Mal. Well, he makes it 31 as the Bombers pull back another.
I think Mal Michael would have been disappointed when he got the tap on the shoulder and said Anthony Rocker wasn't playing today. He physically matches up really well against him. And then he got out to half back and they said, go and play on Tarkin Lockyer. And I reckon he thought this mightn't be my day today. He's finished up forward, getting to the stage where he really needs the right matchup now. The smaller, quick players just don't suit him.
So Essendon now with 10 goals on the board. Laycock in the ruck. Hill's gone forward alongside Lloyd. They've gone a bit taller. Laycock. Stanton's kept on working. Welsh. Hill had just come on the ground and just couldn't get there. Didak measuring it for Fraser. Wellingham's on the move. Lovett closing. He kept on going.
Clever.
And now Fraser's got a bit of space to work in. Almost got himself back into the traffic and a little bit of a hold up, but they'll get there eventually via Johnson. Travis Cloak looks the man most likely.
Well done, Josh Fraser. He pushed hard out of the centre circle and his opponent, Jason Laycock, was trailing him by about 20 metres. And then his second effort again, he followed up with another handball, and Laycock was about 5 or 10 metres behind him again. So just not the defensive pressure right through the midfield, and that man there's played very well today.
Travis Cloak kicked a goal in each of his Anzac Day matches until today. Had never kicked 2, but he's already done that. And he's looking for his 3rd, and he's not finding it. His set shot kicking had been a bit better this year with 6 goals won than it was last year.
And Laycock got the message from the runner to come off, Luke, because of what you just called out, his laziness in not chasing.
88,999 is the interesting attendance figure for today.
88,999. Been beyond the 90,000 mark for the last couple of years, so a little down. We did see a bank of seats, which I think might have been members' seats, not terribly heavily occupied. The camera shot up there earlier in the day. Matthew Lloyd with the chance to eat into the margin a little more. Essendon have kicked the last couple of goals. Perhaps Collingwood just taking the foot off the pedal.
I think there's been some great signs for Matthew Lloyd today. He hasn't had an enormous amount of opportunities, but he's leading and he's presenting, and just the way he's moved has been a lot more impressive.
Kicked 2 in the first quarter. Hasn't kicked one since. He's still a pretty good kick, and he likes the look of that. 3 to Lloyd.
Just going back to the stat sheet again, Melbourne average 60 inside 50s against each week. They're the worst in the competition. The second worst are Essendon at 59. And that's what they've allowed so far. Collingwood have had 59, the ball inside 50, 59 times. Essendon have only had it down there 36 times. Hard work for a forward.
Luke, Courtney John's in picture. Started the game at centre half back. He's always played as a forward. What's he got out of the game? And there's a very sad Laycock, dejected. Has he got anything out of the game? To me, it proves at this stage he can't play in the back line, and I'm not convinced he can play in the forward line. He's been there for quite a while. I would have thought they should just try him as a forward and just give him a chance to prove himself there.
He led that time, but Hula decided the goals were a better option.
He's interesting, Courtney Johns. Going into this game, he'd kicked 17 career goals, and every one of them came from the result of a mark.
Yep.
So obviously very one-dimensional.
They had high hopes for him. He was cut down by injury for a long time, and Essendon persisted. And I guess he's such a big cut of a man that they really thought that he might be able to make it.
Good move by Collingwood. Shane Wakeland looked as though he'd got himself into a pocket, but they get themselves out and work it smoothly to Thomas. O'Bree's working his way down the ground, and Thomas gives it to him. On he goes. He didn't want it. He wants Medhurst to kick another. No. He wants to give it away.
Oh, no.
But he can't.
He's too unselfish.
Travis Cloak.
Hit the stick.
It hit the stick.
I think you've been kind to Medhurst. He was giving it away, but it was all trying to get it back again.
Well, they messed around there.
Look, there he goes. It was the proverbial comedy of errors, and
look at him laughing.
Travis Cloak. He thinks it's funny. Heath Shaw. O'Bree riding with the tackle. Monfries thought he...
It's you, Heath. You came into his back. You didn't need to do that. No, he actually took himself forward. There was no in the back. He never took him down forward, and you jumped into his back late.
There's the explanation.
Thank you.
Reece Shaw's been very good, and Shane O'Bree, he's just a player you don't even think about. He ends up getting a lot of the footy again. He's just one of those solid midfielders that gets the job done week in, week out.
And poor kick from Monfries. He's a little down on confidence. O'Brien, Johnson out to half forward to Cloak. Where's Medhurst? There's Heath Shaw. Medhurst is in the pocket with Ramanauskas for company. Swan, they've created the extra man. It's Maxwell.
And Matthew Knights would be disappointed with the lack of chase by his players. This will be 3 losses in a row, big losses, and he'll start to learn what it's all about. He'll be pretty disappointed tonight. Big occasion, big crowd, and his team has failed to deliver. But Essendon's a work in progress under Matthew Knight. Supporters, staff, everyone will have to be patient. Changing of the guard. And it's okay for the players to say, it's nice to play this attacking game of football, but they've also got to be able to stop the opposition kicking 20 goals a game.
They just can't keep possession of the ball. Turn this one over from the kick in. Nathan Brown long. Medhurst. Oh, he got up there and he got his hands on it. Wellingham. O'Bree been a solid contributor today. Swan. Medhurst is coming again, and Cloak is there as well. He couldn't get over his teammate.
I think this has been a good game for Travis Cloak because he's been in reasonable form, but he had to step up with Anthony Rocker not playing. And the big fella, he's certainly been able to take plenty of marks. That's the 11th, and this will be his 3rd goal.
3 goals for Collingwood again, stretching the lead.
Started on Patrick Ryder, Travis Cloak at full back, and it was a matchup that I think he was going to enjoy because his work rate can burn a lot of opponents. There was Paul Medhurst. We thought he might have grabbed another high mark. He's been sensational. So have the Collingwood team. They've really, well, they've dominated today.
Oh, an intruder.
There's an intruder on the ground. It's probably the best tackle of the day that we've seen from the security guard. It looks like a Collingwood supporter. Now, why would he be out there? You reckon he'd be happy. But it was, let me tell you, it was a very good tackle from behind.
I don't think he'd be getting out of there.
Well, plenty for Matthew Knights to ponder going forward.
Wolsey, it's 7 years since we've had a margin under 2 goals in these games. Is it time? This is the controversial one. To consider the teams who play. Imagine if Hawthorn were playing Geelong today. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
It would. It would. You just don't know, though, Tim. Look, you could have, say, a West Coast. You could have scheduled a West Coast, but the way they're playing last year, but the way they're playing 5 weeks in, you'd say, well, they're not going to pull a crowd.
You would have to have, if it's in Melbourne, you'd have to have 2 Victorian teams playing, I would think.
You would.
Centre bounce eventually. Pendlebury.
Graham Corns wouldn't agree with that, Hutto.
No, but anyway, out of the middle, Watson, and he finds Courtney Johns.
Well, he definitely looks a lot more suited to being a forward, Courtney Johns. He lost his opponent very easily as a defender. I think that's where they need to persevere with him. He, as you said before, Wolsey takes his marking is a strong part of his game. Had a quiet day today, though.
Do you agree with everything Cornsey says, Wolsey?
No.
Here's Courtney Johns then. For a boost in confidence and something to take out of the game. You wonder a little about their forward line into the future, Essendon, because obviously Lloyd and Lucas are getting towards the end.
Yeah. Look, it's hard to do it on just one game, but he looked completely lost playing as a defender, Courtney Johns. And with the 2 key forwards in their 30s, I'd be grooming him as a forward.
Courtney Johns cuts the margin to 50 points. For a quarter and a half, it was a day that promised good things for Essendon, but Collingwood grabbed control halfway through the second term. And it'll be Collingwood scoring its 7th win in these games to Essendon 6, with the draw in the inaugural one back in '95. O'Brien putting the clamps on Michael, but the big strong man for Essendon did pretty well. Hill well tackled there.
Got the capacity to do that, David Hill. He won the hit out beautifully to Watson in the centre circle and pushed hard forward. Been in great form, just a little bit quieter today.
Goldsack it was who got hold of him. Wood, good second half, down to Didak. Well done, Nash. Just out jostling Tarkin Lockyer. And going off towards Hill again, but Wood getting that fist in the way. So into the last 5 minutes, and the Magpies are smiling again after a couple of pretty grim weeks. This will be their 3rd win from 6 and gets their season back on the right balance. Winderlich here with a chance for the Dons. Margin 49.
Yes, I think Eddie would be on a little more better terms this evening than he was last Saturday night after that heartbreaking loss against the Kangaroos. Travis Cloak. Medhurst has just ducked into the pocket, and we'll wait and see after the Wellingham kick whether he's going to be in the action again. Not initially, anyway. Lockyer and Cloak, who was...
She's hot, isn't he, this last term?
Kicked it to Wellingham in the first place.
Got a great work capacity, Travis Cloak. Paddy Ryder's standing the mark. Now there's Joffa, who saying the game's over, but Paddy Ryder was blowing the house down here. He'd been worked hard up the ground, was able to fly through the air, but Cloak is just a workhorse.
He really signalled his arrival last year in this game. Taking a lot of marks.
Well, he's taken 13 today.
And he's worked out the logistics in terms of kicking to kick his fourth. 4 goals for Travis Cloke.
He's actually got a pretty good looking kicking action, Travis Cloke. It's been the area of his game that has always let him down.
We'll just look at Medhurst for the moment. Das, terrific performance from him. 6 goals 2.
Have to think he'd be favourite for the Anzac medal. That was an amazing goal from the boundary line. His work rate's been fantastic. Wolsey loves this. And he's just he's been good from the start of the day to the finish of the day. He's the man that's got to win it for mine, Wolsey.
Well, this fellow in picture's taken 13 marks and had 8 scoring shots, kicked 4-4. He's been pretty impressive too, but there's probably another 3 or 4 Collingwood players that would come into it.
Spoke pre-match of how much notice he takes of the way in which players perform on the big occasion, and also of those who underperform on the big days. Well, he would have to like Paul Medhurst today. He has shown, as we've all suspected, that he feeds off big crowds and can become an exceptionally dangerous player, can wreak havoc. Essendon's ball for a moment, not for long.
Scott Pendlebury's been very good as well, right across the game.
2 more goals would give Collingwood the highest ever score in these Anzac Day matches. Essendon kicked 23-9-1-47 5 years ago. But the Magpies are running out of time here. Had a big second half.
Most of this second half, Andrew Lovitz played in the back pocket for the Bombers. And that's a good education for him.
Getting back to your point about who deserves the right to play on this day, I guess, even going back when Collingwood were pretty average as a team, they still always produced on this day, and it created that great rivalry on this day. So it would take a few matches like this that end up being one-sided, I think, for the momentum to change.
It would. I'll give you an interesting stat in a minute, but Leon Davis might be having a shot at goal. The stat is that up until today, it was 6 wins each in these games since '95, and over that time in their non-Anzac Day encounters, Essendon were leading 10-3. So Anzac Day was an equaliser, which I think says something about the nature of big football occasions.
Carlton replacing Essendon on Anzac Day would suit me.
It'd be highly provocative. Davis kicked a goal in the first quarter, hasn't added since. Yes, he has. He has his second. And the Magpies have their 21st and might yet set a scoring record for the day.
Been pretty good, Leon Davis, as well. 61-point margin now to Collingwood, and spoken about it a lot throughout the day is the amount of free footy that Collingwood midfielders and forwards have got, either in the centre of the ground or even worse, inside 50. It's just been unaccounted footy.
This is Scott Pendlebury Das doing his work around the grounds. 31 possessions.
That's another mark inside 50, just unopposed by an Essendon player having a bit of a laugh. And Wolsey asked me if you know you've had a good day. He looks like a man who knows he's had a pretty good day, and he should be really happy with his work.
It's not often you can just sit back and have a smile and have a chat to your teammates when the game's still going, and it's a lovely feeling to do that.
Armchair ride there for Fraser, turn to O'Brien and into Cloke again. He's loving this.
This would have been interesting had this been a game resting with the kick resting on it, or a kick between the teams, had whether that bounce would have been given the scrutiny of Damien Sully's here last Saturday night.
Now, if he kicks this, Luke, 14 marks, it'll be 5 goals. He might rival Medhurst.
He might.
Career best for Travis Cloke. 5 big ones at the G on Anzac Day. Worth a smile or two, or in this modern day of footy, worth coming to the bench for.
Well, Medhurst had his nose in front.
You've got to pay it when the game was up for grabs, don't you, Wolsey?
Well, I think until he went for the celebration of the crowd, then Wolsey's gone right off him. It's dropped him since then.
He just got ahead of himself. I don't like that.
What do you think of the Brett Lee chainsaw, Wolsey? You're a fan of that?
No. Keep it simple, boys.
I think Medhurst has got it for 4 quarters of performance, hasn't he? With Pendlebury as the rival. Cloke has kicked 3 of those 5 goals in the last. He has just booted Collingwood to the highest score in these Anzac Day encounters, eclipsing Essendon's 2003 mark. It's a big day for the Magpies. 67-point leaders, squaring the ledger at 3-3 after 6 rounds and getting some percentage out of it as well. Not to mention a healthy dose of confidence. Here's Didak leading the race, but the boundary's too close. As for the beaten team, the Bombers, well, a depressing day. They have not been in the race since halfway through the second quarter. Defensive skills lacking in midfield, and they don't look a match for the bigger teams of the competition. Here's Johnson putting it in front of Reece Shaw, who got a fickle bounce. Harry O'Brien arriving though, working his way through the traffic. Shaw to Cook to Lockyer, who contributed 3 goals in the earlier part of the day. He sits this one up. Wood is trying to get to the drop. Wellingham, Davis, he's clever. He's very, very, very clever. And he's just kicked Collingwood's 23rd. He's a beauty.
I'm really happy for Leon Davis that he's playing good football, because he played in those couple of grand finals, and in one of them he never touched the ball at all. And a lot of people thought he wasn't up to it, but he's continued on. He's got a bigger tank. He can play in the midfield. He's not strictly a forward pocket player. He's probably the best inside 50 tackler in the competition. He was last year. And he's just earned so much respect in the last 5 years since Collingwood lost those grand finals and he played so poorly.
And it's a spanking, isn't it? 73 points. They kicked 23 goals. Pendlebury gets them going. There might be time for one more. Didak. Here's one more chance for Medhurst.
Oh, another mistake.
Yeah, drag him. Watson, who's been the most prolific of the Bombers, 29 touches. Love it for Tate Pears, who's just found the going a bit tough. Started very well last week.
Got a big 3 weeks coming up, Collingwood. They play Hawthorn, then St Kilda, then Geelong. So a lot of these players are now back in form, and gives them a good opportunity to tackle the next 3 hard weeks.
Watson for Lovett. Heath Shaw trying to rein it in. Bit of body pressure from Johns. The agony is over for the Bombers. Paul Medhurst, Travis Cloak and Scott Pendlebury have led the Magpies to a fantastic 73-point win.
They know how to play the game. Side by side they stick together to uphold the Magpies' name. See the barrackers are shouting as all barrackers shout. Oh, the premiership's a cakewalk for the good old Collingwood.
Don't know about the premiership, but today certainly was a cakewalk. Let's go down to Mark Howard.
Paul Medhurst, your first Anzac Day match. Look at the smile on your face. Had a great day, mate.
It was unbelievable. It's one of the best memories. I mean, it's going to be one of the best memories from footy I have, and what a special day, and it was a great win, so I'm over the moon, mate.
What's been the turnaround for you today, mate? You've kicked 6 goals, you're taking hangers, you're celebrating with the crowd. It's been a real improvement for you this season.
It's been good. Momentum's building throughout the year, and I think I'm starting to get to know my teammates better and working better with them, and they've been fantastic and giving me the opportunities that I capitalised on today.
Enjoy the rest of the evening. Well done. Tony Murray.
Thanks, Howie. Sharon Wellingham. There you go. Game 1, nice start. How did that feel?
Felt awesome. Great pleasure to be part of it. Good debut at Anzac Day.
You know it's not going to be like this every week, coming out in front of 90,000 at the MCG in perfect conditions, winning by about 15 goals.
No, it's going to be a hard year, I think, but we've got a good squad at the moment and we're all working hard together.
When did you find out that you're in the side?
Yesterday about 4 o'clock.
And your mum and dad had the opportunity of coming over and watching you play?
Yeah, they flew over on the red eye last night, so they got in at 5 o'clock this morning or something.
Mate, congratulations. It's a dream come true. Well done. Back to you, Howie.
Grew up watching this game in the Latrobe Valley in Sale. This is your second one. Just a wonderful occasion.
Oh, yeah, it's a super day. I suppose the build-up's a bit different to a normal game, and to have 89,000 is just an amazing feeling.
A big game for you guys today. You come up with a couple of losses. It was so important. It was tight in the first quarter. How did you manage to break them open from there?
I think we made a big emphasis of not letting them use the middle. I think in the first quarter they were getting through there a bit too much, and we just had to lock the middle down, and I feel we did that. And in the last quarter, you know, it sort of slipped away a little bit, but to the boys' credit, you know, it's a great way to fight back after 2 losses.
Great game. Well done, mate. Thanks.
Hutto. Thank you, boys. Let's go to the Master of Ceremonies for the presentation, Craig Willis.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please make welcome the President of the Victorian Returned and